Hello, and welcome to Podcast for English. My name is Linda. I'm really happy you're here today. This channel is for people who want to learn English in a simple and natural way. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to speak fast. You don't need to understand every word. You only need to listen. You can listen while you rest. You can listen while you work. You can listen while you live your daily life. Take a deep breath, relax your body, clear your mind. Now, let's begin today's English lesson together. In today's podcast, we are talking about confidence. Not confidence as a feeling, but confidence as a result. Today's topic is simple. Confidence comes after action, not before. Many people believe they need confidence first. They think, when I feel confident, I will start learning. When I feel ready, I will take action. But this belief keeps many people stuck. This podcast is here to change that idea. Today, we are not asking you to feel confident. We are asking you to understand something important. Confidence is built. It is not given. It grows after you act, not before you act. In this episode, you will hear why waiting to feel ready often stops progress. You will hear why action, even small action, is more important than confidence. This podcast is for you if you feel unsure. It is for you if you feel nervous about learning English. It is for you if you are waiting for the right feeling to begin. Today, we will talk about why that feeling comes later. We will talk about how confidence grows from small steps, from listening, from staying, from not giving up. This episode is not about pushing yourself. It is not about forcing courage. It is about understanding how confidence really works. You do not need to change who you are. You do not need to remove fear first. You only need to understand this idea. Action comes first. Confidence follows. As you listen to this episode, you do not need to remember everything. You do not need to agree with everything. You only need to listen and allow this idea to slowly settle in your mind. By the end of this podcast, you may see confidence in a new way, not as something you must wait for, but as something you can build, one small action at a time. Waiting for confidence often keeps you stuck. Many people do not realize this. They think waiting is safe. They think, I will start when I feel ready. I will act when I feel confident. But this waiting creates a loop. You wait for confidence. Confidence waits for action. Nothing moves. This loop feels comfortable at first. You avoid fear. You avoid mistakes. But comfort does not create growth. While you wait, time passes. Days pass, weeks pass, months pass, and nothing changes. Waiting slowly turns into habit. A habit of delay. You begin to tell yourself many stories. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I will start later. These stories sound reasonable, but they hide fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of looking foolish, fear of failing again. Waiting feels safe because it avoids fear. But avoiding fear also avoids progress. Confidence does not grow in waiting. It grows in movement, even small movement. One small action breaks the loop. Listening for 5 minutes. Trying one new word. Staying with one short episode. These actions may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is where confidence begins. When you act, even without confidence, your mind learns something new. It learns, I can do this. I can stay. This learning does not come from thinking. It comes from experience. Waiting teaches the mind to avoid. Action teaches the mind to trust. This is the difference. Waiting keeps fear alive. Action slowly reduces fear. You do not need big action. You do not need perfect action. You only need to move. Confidence follows movement, always. When you stop waiting and start acting, even a little, the cycle changes. Action comes first, confidence comes after. And once this changes, you are no longer stuck. Small actions build real confidence, not big actions, not perfect actions, small ones. Many people think confidence comes from success. They think, I will feel confident after I do something big. But confidence does not work that way. Confidence grows from small proof. Proof that you can act. Proof that you can continue. Small actions give you this proof. You listen for a few minutes. You stay with one short lesson. You try again the next day. These actions may feel simple, but they send a clear message to your mind. I showed up. I stayed. This message matters because confidence is built from trust. Trust in yourself. Small actions are easier to repeat. They do not feel heavy. They do not feel scary. This makes it easier to continue. And continuation is where confidence grows. Each time you act, even a little, fear becomes smaller. Not because fear disappears, but because you learn that fear does not control you. You act anyway. This is important because confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to move with fear. Small actions also reduce pressure. You are not trying to be perfect. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are just learning. This creates a safe space. And in a safe space, confidence grows naturally. You begin to notice small changes. You feel calmer when listening. You feel less tense when you hear English. You understand a little more. These moments may feel quiet, but they are real. They are signs that fear fades after you start moving, not before. Many people wait for fear to disappear. They think, when I am not afraid, I will begin. But fear does not work that way. Fear does not leave when you wait. Fear stays when you stay still. Fear grows when you avoid. This is important to understand because many people are not weak. They are just waiting. Waiting feels safe. Waiting feels comfortable. But waiting keeps fear alive. Fear is fed by stillness. Fear is fed by delay. Movement is what changes fear. Not big movement, not brave movement, small movement. When you take action, even a small action, something changes. Fear reacts. It becomes louder at first. Your heart may beat faster. Your mind may feel busy. Your body may feel tense. This is normal. This does not mean you are doing something wrong. It means you are doing something new. Fear always reacts to change, but fear is weak against repetition. When you move again, fear loses strength. When you move again, fear loses control. You begin to learn something important. Fear is a feeling, not a command. It can speak, but it cannot decide. Action teaches this lesson. Thinking does not. When you act, your brain receives new information. It learns, I can do this. I survived this. I am safe. This learning does not come from words. It comes from experience. This is why movement matters, even very small movement. Listening for 2 minutes. Staying for one short episode, not turning it off right away. These actions may feel simple, but they are powerful because they break avoidance. And avoidance is what keeps fear strong. Each time you choose to stay instead of escape, fear becomes weaker. Not gone, but quieter. You also begin to notice something else. Fear fades faster than you expect. Often, fear is strongest before you start. Once you are moving, fear slowly relaxes. Your breathing becomes calmer. Your body becomes softer. Your mind becomes clearer. This is not magic. This is biology. The brain learns through action, not through waiting. English is a good teacher here. You may feel afraid before you listen, but after a few minutes, you feel calmer. You understand a little. You feel more comfortable. Fear fades because you stayed. Over time, this pattern repeats. Fear appears. You move anyway. Fear fades again. Each time, fear has less power. Each time, you trust yourself more. This is how confidence grows. Not by removing fear, but by moving with fear. Fear fades after you start moving. Always. And when you remember this, you stop waiting. You start one small step. And that step changes everything. Consistency turns action into confidence. Action starts the process. Consistency completes it. Many people take action once, they listen one day, they try one time, then they stop. And they wonder why confidence did not appear. Confidence does not grow from one action. It grows from repeated action. Consistency means you return again, even when you feel tired, even when you feel busy, even when you feel unsure. You do not do more, you just come back. This is important because confidence is built from evidence. Evidence that you can continue. When you act consistently, your mind begins to trust you. It learns, you do what you say. You do not quit easily. This trust becomes confidence. Consistency also makes action feel normal. At first, action feels special. It feels hard. It feels uncomfortable. But when you repeat it, it becomes routine. Routine reduces fear. Fear is strongest when something feels new. Fear becomes weaker when something feels familiar. Consistency creates familiarity. You hear English often. The sounds stop feeling strange. The rhythm feels normal. Your body relaxes. Relaxation allows confidence. Consistency does not require strong motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency stays when motivation is low. You show up even on quiet days, even on slow days. These days matter most because confidence grows when you act without excitement. When you act because it is part of your life. Consistency also protects you from doubt. Doubt says, "Is this working?" Consistency answers, "Keep going." You do not need to check progress every day. You only need to continue. Over time, small, consistent actions add up. You notice changes. You feel calmer when listening. You understand more. You feel less afraid. These changes feel natural, not forced. This is real confidence. Not loud, not dramatic, quiet, stable. Consistency turns action into something solid, something you can stand on. When you stay consistent, confidence stops being a goal. It becomes a result. And once confidence appears, learning feels lighter. Not because it is easy, but because you trust yourself to keep going. Imperfect action is better than no action. Many people wait to do things the right way. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel perfect. But perfect action rarely comes. Waiting for perfection often means waiting forever. No action creates no confidence. Imperfect action creates movement. Movement creates learning. When you take imperfect action, you learn something. You learn what works. You learn what feels hard. You learn what you can handle. This learning does not happen when you do nothing. Imperfect action breaks the idea that you must be ready first. You listen even when your focus is not perfect. You continue even when your energy is low. This teaches your mind something important. I can act even when things are not ideal. This lesson builds strength. Many people stop because they judge themselves. They say, "I didn't do it well, so it doesn't count." But imperfect action still counts. It counts because you showed up. It counts because you stayed. It counts because you did not quit. Imperfect action also reduces fear. Fear grows when action feels big. Imperfect action makes action small. Small action feels possible. Possible action creates confidence. English is a good example. You may not understand everything. You may miss words. You may feel slow, but you listen anyway. This is imperfect action, and this action moves you forward. Over time, imperfect action becomes better action. Not because you forced it, but because experience grows. Experience comes from doing, not from waiting. Imperfect action also keeps momentum. Momentum matters. When you stop completely, starting again feels hard. When you act imperfectly, starting feels easier. You stay connected to the process. you stay close to learning. Imperfect action keeps the door open. No action closes the door. Confidence grows inside imperfect action. Because you learn that you do not need perfection to move forward. You only need to begin. And beginning imperfectly is still beginning. Staying with discomfort creates strength, not comfort, not ease, strength. Many people believe they must feel comfortable to continue. They think, when this feels easy, I will keep going. But growth does not begin in comfort. It begins in discomfort. Discomfort is a sign that you are learning, a sign that something new is happening. When you learn English, discomfort appears. You hear words you do not know. You miss parts of sentences. You feel unsure. This feeling is normal. Many people try to escape this feeling. They stop listening. They change the topic. They turn it off. This brings relief. But relief does not build strength. Strength comes when you stay. When you stay with the sound. When you stay with the feeling. When you stay even when it feels unclear. Staying teaches your mind that discomfort is safe. It teaches your body that nothing bad happens when you feel unsure. This lesson is powerful because fear often comes from avoiding discomfort. When you avoid, discomfort feels dangerous. When you stay, discomfort becomes familiar. Familiar discomfort loses power. You begin to notice that discomfort does not last forever. At first, it feels strong, but as you continue, it softens. Your breathing slows, your mind settles. You begin to understand a little more. This experience builds trust. Trust that you can stay. Trust that you can handle it. This trust is strength. Staying with discomfort also builds focus. You stop jumping away. You stop escaping. You remain present. Presence allows learning. Learning allows confidence. English teaches this lesson well. Each time you listen without understanding everything, you practice staying. Each time you do not quit, you become stronger. Not louder, not faster. Stronger inside. This strength does not disappear. It stays with you. It appears when you face other challenges. You remember, I stayed before. I can stay again. Discomfort becomes a teacher, not an enemy. And when discomfort no longer controls you, confidence has space to grow. Because strength was built by staying. Action first thinking changes everything. Not only how you learn, but how you live. Most people are taught to think first, to plan, to prepare, to feel ready. They are told, wait until you feel confident. Wait until you are sure. But this way of thinking creates delay. Delay creates doubt. Doubt creates fear, and fear stops action. Action first thinking works in the opposite way. It says, start first, move first, do something small, and let confidence come later. This way of thinking feels strange at first because it goes against what many people learned. But it works because it follows how the mind really changes. When you act first, your mind receives new information. It learns, I can do this. I am safe. I can continue. This learning does not come from thinking. It comes from experience. Action first thinking removes pressure. You stop asking, how do I feel? You start asking, what can I do right now? This question is powerful because there is always something you can do. You can listen, you can stay, you can continue for a few minutes. These actions are small, but they are real. Action first thinking also changes how you see emotions. You stop waiting to feel calm. You act, and calm appears later. You stop waiting to feel confident. You act, and confidence appears later. This is very important because many emotions follow action. They do not lead it. English shows this clearly. Before you listen, you may feel unsure. After a few minutes, you feel calmer. Before you start, you may feel afraid. After you stay, fear becomes quieter. This pattern repeats again and again. Action first thinking teaches you to trust this pattern. You stop fighting feelings. You stop trying to control emotions first. You move and emotions adjust. This reduces stress because you no longer wait for the perfect feeling. You work with what you have now. Action first thinking also builds independence. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop waiting for the right mood. You rely on action. Small action, gentle action. This creates freedom. Freedom to learn on good days. Freedom to learn on hard days. Freedom to continue even when life feels busy. Over time, this way of thinking becomes natural. You no longer ask, am I ready? You ask, what is the next step? This question keeps you moving. Action first thinking also changes your relationship with mistakes. Mistakes no longer stop you. They become part of movement. You act, you notice, you adjust. This creates growth without pressure. You are not forcing change. You are allowing change, little by little. English becomes easier because you stop fighting it. Learning becomes lighter because you stop waiting. Life also changes in this way. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You stop waiting for confidence to arrive. You begin with what you have. One small action, then another, and another. Over time, these actions build trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the process. This trust is real confidence, not loud, not dramatic, quiet, stable. Action first thinking shows you one truth. Confidence lives inside action, not before it. And when you understand this, you stop waiting. You start living, one small step at a time. You've reached the end of today's episode. Before you leave, I want you to remember one simple thing. You did something good for yourself today. You listened. You stayed. You didn't give up. And that matters. Learning English is not about being fast. It is not about being perfect. It is about showing up again and again. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel hard. Both are normal. Progress does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels quiet. Sometimes you don't notice it at all. But learning is still happening. Every minute you listen, your ears are learning new sounds. Your mind is learning new patterns. Your confidence is growing, even if you cannot see it yet. You don't need to push yourself. You don't need to compare yourself to others. You are on your own path, and your pace is enough. Let English be part of your daily life. Listen while you rest. Listen while you work. Listen while you live your normal day. If this episode helped you feel calmer, more focused, or more motivated, then your time here was well spent. Come back when you can. Come back when you need a quiet space to learn. My name is Linda, and this is Podcast for English. Thank you for learning with me. Until next time, keep going and never give up. Believe in yourself, because you are stronger than you think.